is EPSO week in Tennessee. You may be wondering what EPSO means. It means Early Post-Secondary Opportunities. Today I'm talking with Lori Richards from Vol State here in Cookeville, on the Cookeville campus, the CHEC campus we call it. And we're going to talk a little bit about dual enrollment opportunities for the students of Putnam County. And first question I got for you, Miss Lori, first of all, you are the director of the site here in Cookeville, and so thanks for being on the show with us today and doing a little interview. I know that's, we don't do this every day, so first question I have for you, and then hopefully that'll lead into some more conversation about the students and how these programs help our students, especially as a high school student coming into the college situation. So how does dual enrollment help future college students in general?
Basically, dual enrollment helps give a student some of that advanced education that they can carry on. They have to take it seriously because it does travel with their college transcript to wherever they go, but it gives them also what is college about early on so they can sort of know how college classes are going to be for them. So
from a personal perspective, having a student that went through the program and is now in college, actually fixing to graduate a semester early at Tennessee Tech, which was a great benefit for us and him also. The thing that attracted me to it the most, and managing the dual enrollment program and then being a parent in the dual enrollment program were two different things. And what I see a lot from parents that get their students into the dual enrollment program, I think they probably don't realize in the beginning that they truly are a real college student.
Yes. We have several different avenues that the dual enrollment student can take. They could be a totally online student and do all of their coursework online and following that path. Or they could actually attend classes at the Cookeville Higher Education campus for Vol State and be mingled in with the regular college population. We have another form of classes where it's sort of a mix of the two. Some online classes, some online components, and on-the-ground components as well. And especially with the COVID situation going on, that hybrid is really becoming really popular for us.
Yeah, and that, that threw a monkey wrench really with everybody in all areas of education. And I think, it really affected the processes that were in place for both Putnam County on our end with students and also the enrollment process. We know that it's affected us on this end with the COVID situation in Putnam County as the high school side. How has it affected you guys on the dual enrollment side and the college side?
It has really changed. I mean, we had just a matter of a couple of weeks to get classes. Let's use an example of biology or chemistry that have the strong lab components, to be able to get those transitioned to an online lab component. Our instructors really stepped up to the plate and really worked hard to make that happen. And in fact, that preparation from the spring sort of carried over, and this fall, a majority of our classes were in an online format, even the science classes with the labs. Mechatronics, on the other hand, is a course that we really could not transition to that online format. So for the hands-on, like the paramedic EMT program, Mechatronics, we had to have some of that on-ground component. Dr. Dean in the Mechatronics program has worked with getting some setups where he can actually do some live broadcast out so that if a student needs to be at home, they can actually view it in real time. So he's done some things to try to help along those lines as necessity has dictated.
So there's also some aspects that deal with safety in those classrooms that you just can't overlook, and sometimes you just can't get in a virtual situation. So can you touch on that about, we talked about mechatronics already. Are there any other classes that you guys push out that really needed to be hands-on?
Well, one of the things, our nursing classes. We have the nursing program that we just started up. We're actually getting our second group of nursing students through, so the second cohort. Those, you can't get that experience on a computer. It's really difficult. You have to actually have that hands-on. Luckily for us, our lab was off-site, and it was actually, most of the work was done clinically in the hospital, so students were able to still be sort of like the frontline workers out there and working, doing, learning, doing what they needed to do, learning, etc. So that worked out really well for us to be able to have that component.
You talk about hands-on learning, an internship, if you will, which is kind of what that actually ended up being. There's no better situation to learn than actually being there.
Yeah.
So what a great advantage for these students. And then you talk about the ways dual enrollment helps future students. I know from experience, and I've got great feedback from parents over the years, that it's so nice for them to have their student at home, still living with them, but going through the college process and learning what it's like to be a college student before they get out of the safety net of the parents. So for me and other parents out there, that was the major draw. Learning the expectation of a college student while you're still at home with your parents, so they can help, you can have discussions, you can talk about what it was like when they went through school, and they can draw from that experience. For me, on the end of that now, that was the number one realization for my son, that he learned what it was like. So day one when he stepped on a campus, he knew what it was going to be like.
Yeah, yes, they get that experience. They realize some of the ropes, some of the things about having to, when they apply for the grant, you have to do that to apply for the FAFSA every year. So applying for the grant sort of gets them prepped up. It utilizes that same system. They get in and do that. They also learn about things like our learning commons. If you're taking a biology class, we have free tutoring for English, math, the sciences, various classes. And again, like that all had to be moved to that virtual environment. So it doesn't matter if you are in Gallatin or if you are in Livingston or Cookeville, you have access to the same virtual. You go into that through a Zoom connection and you talk one-on-one with that math tutor about the math problem that you're having trouble with and things like that. So you learn that those resources are there, being a dual enrollment student, that you would have to learn on the backside as a regular college student.
Okay, Miss Lori, so the programs that are offered as far as a high school student, can you talk a little bit about that as far as the dual enrollment programs?
There are, most dual enrollment students would look at, if they were doing typically 4 classes of dual enrollment is the standard. Some students do more, some do less, but typically looking at English, histories are the 2 main areas. Math, picking up the math courses that you might need, especially if somebody's going to be going on to engineering where there's a ton of math courses. You can catch some of those early and get those under your belt, and so you don't have as many as you get into your college career. We're currently doing something with some business classes, so if a student is looking at probably going on to major in business or something where the business classes would help that student. Even somebody that might be doing cosmetology that might look at owning their own shop, they could do some business classes to learn how to run a shop, things like that. We have a computer science associate's degree. A lot of those classes are offered online, and we offer that degree after the student would graduate. We offer that degree out of our Livingston Center. Some things towards the health sciences maybe. We have some classes that might be able to be taken there, CPR, first aid, medical terminology, some of those, as well as looking at anything that might be a transfer degree, some things that get more specialized, looking at psychology, sociology, things like that.
You mentioned a couple of things a minute ago that I want to touch on. Articulation. There is articulation agreements between Putnam County Schools and Vol State and someone like Tennessee Tech and someone like TCAT. So
Yes, part of the whole reason that the Cookeville Higher Education campus came into being was for some of that articulation to help move that. We are truly blessed in this area to have a local Tennessee College of Applied Technology, or TCAT, the community college, Vol State, and the University, Tennessee Tech. At one time, a few years back, we were all under the same umbrella of the Tennessee Board of Regents. That has changed a little bit over the last few years, but again, we still all look at and we try to migrate classes that have been taken at one institution towards classes at another institution. Lots of those dual enrollment opportunities that we look at that are called Tennessee Transfer Pathway classes are classes that would transfer on over to Tennessee Tech. And then looking at the TCAT side of things, like the mechatronics classes that a student would take for dual enrollment through Putnam County Schools. We actually have an articulation agreement with the TCAT for their certificate program to migrate into our degree program at the Cookeville campus for the mechatronics. And you almost get hour for hour. You're losing just a little bit of hours on that. And so that is great for that opportunity to be able to come forward.
A student in high school, and let's take mechatronics, a student in high school could go through high school, get some certifications along the way, which if they decided not to go to school after high school and they wanted to go right into work, those certifications would actually help them get a job as soon as they graduated high school, and they would have some college work under the belt along the way. But having that articulation agreement, if they were to go to TCAT and go through the mechatronics program, they could then roll into Vol State and your program, and then actually after that could roll right into Tennessee Tech in their engineering program. So I don't know any better example of an articulation agreement than high school, the technical college, the 2-year college, and the 4-year college. And we have all that right here in Cookeville, Tennessee, with all of the opportunities that our students have. So I want to take one look at something else, the nursing opportunities that exist, the health opportunities that exist, same thing. You can go through some of our high schools and you can get those certifications along the way. We've had students that actually have gone to our high schools and been accepted into the Tennessee Tech nursing program, gained certificates along the way, used all these opportunities and offerings from TCAT, Vol State, and Tennessee Tech, and walked right into that situation where not only can they get to the university to get their 4-year degree, but make money while they're doing it, because there's a big need right now for these healthcare people. And what an awesome opportunity for the kids at Putnam County.
Yes, that is a great avenue. And when you can get out and sort of work in the field, and do some of the stuff as you're progressing on, you get a feel for what that job is about. And you realize, is this what I want to get up and do every day? And you see if that is what you truly want to do. So I think that is great. And the fact that it migrates through, it also, one of the things that we're looking at with our new nursing program, which is only, as I said, only in the 2nd year, we're looking at giving students credit as they're applying into the program for their experience, for what they have done. So that sort of now helps give people that are actually working in the field a little bit of that extra bump. And that's brand spanking new, just sort of came down the pipeline, and we're seeing how that's going to be evolving.
One more thing that you mentioned a second ago, you said something about an associate's degree. So for students who really want to put a lot of time in, we have several of those. I would say the majority of the students that get involved in this, they're trying to just get the feel for college and get some experience under their belt, but we do have students that are a lot more motivated than that. And some of them have actually gained their associate's degree through Vol State before they even graduate high school. There's about a 2-week separation there, so they actually walk the line with Vol State with their associate's degree. And most of those degrees come at a cost of 60 hours to 66 hours. And so those students, and we've had 5, I think, in the last little bit here in Putnam County, and we actually have 5 more in the pipeline right now that are motivated enough to be able to do that. What can you say about those students?
Those students, we try to work with them to get them in all the classes that they need. But yes, highly motivated. They do a majority of their work on the college campus. So they really know what that college feel is and get that experience. One of the new things that we're trying to do is reaching out to some of the dual enrollment students to actually join some of the clubs and get motivated in with some of that as well. And the students that are doing, as you're saying, that are actually getting most of everything for their degree or getting their degree as they graduate high school are really getting involved in the campus.
So the last thing we'll talk about here, for parents that are out there, this is going to be on social media. So for parents that are out there that may have had no idea about the opportunity for dual enrollment in Putnam County. What would you want to tell them first? Let's say they have a sixth grader and they're looking at the future and what the student might want to do. We don't expect students to know what they want to do in the job field at sixth grade, but we do want to start getting them to understand what those expectations and those opportunities would be. So what would you tell those parents?
Get started early, try to get your student involved, and to try to excel, to try to reach out in the areas that they are interested in, to learn more about it. Try to get into some of the advanced classes if those are available, to take those. And then that way that just migrates on up the chain. And as we were talking, that's how some of these students that are actually in the pipeline to be getting their associates as they graduate, that's how they have gotten into the pipeline and stuff. So basically just start, challenge them to be able to learn what they can learn and to take that to what they will be doing in their future. I would like to mention one thing that just happened this last year, Sam. The Vol State actually just won a very prestigious award. We were ranked number 7 in all community colleges in our online education. So the actual online classes, we were 7th in the nation, and that's right here in this county. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, 7th in the nation. So that's a great honor, and we know that that's still a fairly young product that's continuing to get better and better as time goes on. And for the students of Putnam County, actually, that's more of the entry level. So if we have a student that's a sophomore or a junior and coming in and they have the credits that they need to go ahead and start dual enrollment, because of their schedule, because of logistics, they may not even be driving yet. The online world is a way to get into the dual enrollment program for many of our students. So you might be sitting there thinking, well, I'm pretty interested in this now and I've heard a lot about it, so how do I find out more? We actually have a dual enrollment specialist in Putnam County, and her name is Donna Sherrill. Her office number is 528-2176, and you can reach her through her email also, which we will put on this video so you can see. So there's your way to get some information, and we can definitely send you some flyers and information we've already created if you are interested. And Miss Sherrill's always available for a phone conversation to answer more questions as time goes on and as your students climb the ladder in the Putnam County school system. Miss Lori, we're really thankful for our partnership and really glad that the CHEC campus is in Cookeville now. Just very blessed to be able to have that campus here and be able to, have a relationship with you guys where we can actually talk. Yes. And physically see you, come over to the campus, have meetings. Hopefully we'll get back to that where we can have physical meetings again. But anyway, appreciate your time, appreciate the information and all the work that you're doing over there. And it's just been a great relationship for the Putnam County school system. Thank you so much, Sam. We're here for the students, and we want to see the students of the area succeed. And thank you guys for joining us today. I know this was we try and keep these short, but a lot of information to get out, a lot of needed understanding for parents and students, because this is different. This is vastly different from just going through the high school classes and not getting any of the dual enrollment. So we will make sure we put the information out there that you guys get it. Thanks for joining us. Have an awesome day.